Coach Lewis here with the Pain-Free Performance Specialist certification. Today, we're going to be talking about building a high-performance pull. But before we get into the high-performance pull and all the variations and what we should be doing, it's important we address one of the biggest mistakes I see when it comes to building a hinge or training in general, which is addressing ourselves with a proper 6-phase dynamic warm-up. We're going to work through a hinge-specific warm-up that's going to prime you mentally and physically to give your best in today's session. All right, we're going to go through the 6-phase dynamic warm-up system. Phase 1 and phase 2 go together like peanut butter and jelly. They are parasympathetically driven. It's important we find a baseline in this position. Setup is key here, breathing is key. We're going to focus on the adductors. We're going to make sure we're in a nice pillar position. So he's going to find a plank-like position, making sure that we're not dumping at the spine and rotating here. We're going to go distal to proximal, starting by the knee and working our way in nice and personal. You're going to look for 1 to 3 spots of light bulb moments and then use the oscillatory technique to wiggle out those positions and release them a little bit so that we can potentially open up better ranges of motion in phase 2. You're only going to spend about 45 seconds hunting for those soft spots. Just as important as the movement is for you to breathe deep. There's no sense in you getting super tight when we're doing this. The goal is to relax and tap into the parasympathetic system via slow and controlled movement and slow and controlled breaths. Looking for deep inhalations through the nose, 360 degrees of expansion through the diaphragm, and then a long, drawn-out exhale through the mouth. Here you'll see Chad in a very nice position. The knee must be above the pocket in height. So the slight adjustment we can make is going up a little bit with the leg so that the tissues are already in stretch. From there, you'll drive the movement from the upper body, and as you work your way in, you may need to readjust where you're positioned with the upper body, as well as this leg over here. Once you've spent about 45 seconds, 30 seconds looking for those hot spots, I want you to use a neurological trigger point technique by finding the spiciest spot and flexing and extending the knee, just like that, for about 10 to 15 seconds. This is quick hitting stuff, guys. We're not spending 30 minutes on the foam roller, foam rolling every single nook and cranny. We're like a sniper. We're gonna find one area that is gonna yield the best results in our training session of the day. We're gonna focus on the adductors. We're gonna spend 1 minute on each leg, and then we're gonna move on. All right, we're gonna move to phase 2, which is biphasic stretching. We're gonna get on all 6 points of contact with the hands directly under the shoulders, the knees directly under the hips, and both feet firmly planted into the ground. From this position, once we find neutral spine, we're gonna extend one leg straight out to the side, and we have 2 options from this position. You can either put the foot flat, or you can be on the side of the foot. Whichever you're most comfortable with, or whichever one allows you to get a better feel for the adductors. Once we have this position here, we're gonna maintain stability through the pillar, we're gonna breathe, and then we're gonna rock back until we find that end range position, and then we're just gonna use the oscillatory technique of 1 to 2 inches of relative movement as we work our way back. If he dumps back all the way, the hips are gonna begin to tuck. It's a common problem that we see in this stretch is dumping into compensatory movements. After you move back and forth for about 30 seconds, we're gonna hold end range position for 10 seconds. If you wanna add some T-spine rotations from here, we're gonna take the extended side arm and place our fingers nice and lightly behind the head. We're gonna dive elbow for the wrist as we flex this position here. As we exhale, the eyes will lead, we'll drive through the hand, and we'll open up.